What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I'm going over Week 11's Thursday night showdown between the Tennessee Titans and Green Bay Packers. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen these videos before, what I basically do is compare and contrast DraftKings and Fanduel prices, find some opportunities, and hopefully help you guys out. Just trying to decide of what site you want to play on. If you play both, that's great. Just finding opportunities on both sites to help you. If you guys do enjoy the video by the end, please leave a like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And let's get right into it. So we have 3 players above 10K on this slate, and Ryan Tannehill's almost right there. He's $400 off on DraftKings, which we haven't seen that much lately of 4 players above 10K. That's usually when the slates become more challenging and more fun, honestly. Sometimes we get 3, sometimes 2. This one, I'd say we basically have 4. And on FanDuel, 4 players above 14K, which that is pretty average. FanDuel usually has prices up there. But then you kind of have a drop-off on these mid-tier prices. Usually you'll have quite a few between 10 and 12K, and it's just AJ Dillon, Lazard, Watson, and Westbrook. So we look on DraftKings. Derrick Henry is obviously the most expensive player on the slate. Aaron Jones right behind him, then Rodgers, then Tannehill. On FanDuel, they kind of have a difference, so you get a discount on Aaron Jones, even though it's not much. You get Rodgers, Jones, Tannehill. Then you get AJ Dillon, Allen Lazard, Watson, Nick. And on DraftKings, Allen Lazard, Watson, Woods, Dillon, Westbrook. So you get a discount on Westbrook and Dillon on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you're paying up for AJ Dillon. Then on DraftKings, you get Robert Tonyan here at $5,800. Burks, Watkins, Hooper, the defense kickers. On this, you get Tennessee's defense, Tennessee's kicker, Packers defense, Packers kicker, Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, Austin Hooper, Sammy Watkins, Dontrell Hilliard, Robert Tonyan down here at 7K. So on DraftKings, Robert Tonyan is a mid-tier price guy. On FanDuel, he's a value, like huge value, huge. You get a big discount on Robert Tonyan. Then you get the defense's kickers. And then Dontrell Hilliard is down here at $3,200. So you get a discount at Hilliard. And then here's another interesting one. Randall Cobb, don't go crazy with this tonight, is expected to play. Supposed to be eased back into the offense is what they're saying. But he's $200. That is the ultimate value on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you don't get that ultimate value because he's $7,500. He's more expensive than Hilliard, Tonyan, Watkins, Hooper. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me that he's priced that for just coming back. All right. So let's kind of go over the players, and then from there we'll do the lineup afterwards. So Derrick Henry, obviously the most expensive player, and for right reasons. Green Bay has been terrible against the run. They are second in yards allowed to running backs this season, missing a key linebacker in Campbell tonight, which is huge. But to contradict that, Tennessee is without one of their best offensive linemen. Like their offensive line is banged up, but now they're down probably one of their best offensive linemen in Ben Jones. He's supposed to, or he is out. He's ruled out already. And that may or may not hurt that offense. Now, I know it doesn't seem like a big thing, but the center kind of does shape that offensive line, especially that inside. And we know what Derrick Henry is capable of. Losing someone like Campbell does kind of hurt that defense in a way too. So they kind of, in a way, balance each other out. But I'm interested to see what happens tonight with that. The thing is Green Bay is pretty good against touchdowns allowed to running backs. They're in the top half of touchdowns allowed, meaning they don't give a lot of touchdowns to running backs. They give up a lot of yards, not touchdowns, and we know what Derrick Henry is. Just a big volume guy. It's a cold game. That's where Derrick Henry plays well. Just relied upon on. Gets shut down against Denver last week. Surprisingly. But I mean, throughout the season, some pretty consistent numbers, especially against some of these bad rush defenses, and that's what he's playing tonight. So Derrick Henry, for good reasons, is definitely a play for me. Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, running backs for Green Bay. Tennessee's played against a running back very well this year. They're also missing some pieces, and probably they could be missing one of their best defensive linemen tonight, and that's something to watch out for. They are definitely banged up. Dupree is out already for Tennessee, and they could have some other pieces, so watch for that too, because that might open up. And we've seen, strangely, the last 3 out of 4 games, Aaron Jones have a great game, and the one game you'd think he'd even have his best game of the season against Detroit, not included at all. Wasn't able to establish a rush, anything like that. It only picks you up 6 fantasy points. As you can see by the numbers, I don't like to go off this, but Tennessee does play really good against the run. So Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, I'd have to see the injury news to get committed to that. Green Bay should have their offensive line healthy enough to play in Bakari and Jenkins, so look for that. So we'll see. For right now, they're a maybe, but they're going more towards no. Ryan Tannehill at 9,600 on Fanduel, 14K, so you're still paying up for him. Going against Green Bay's secondary, I don't love this, especially for fantasy numbers. I mean, you look at last week against Denver, and he has one of his better games he's had all season against Denver's secondary. But I mean, Derrick Henry wasn't included. I don't love the matchup tonight. Green Bay's secondary has played well. They have times to where they don't look good at all, especially Alexander. But I'm not liking Ryan Tannehill in that top price point that I'm paying up for. I like Aaron Rodgers and I like Derrick Henry. Those are my 2 pay ups for there. And then we get to the wide receivers. Green Bay has a big advantage in the passing game. Tennessee has been really bad in pass defense and missing. They could be missing 2 of their defensive backs tonight, which is huge for Aaron Rodgers. So look for Allen Lazard, Christian Watson. Obviously, they want Watson to succeed. Last week was a huge test. I don't think he gets there again. I don't think you're seeing a 4 for 107, 3 touchdowns, 8 targets. I do think they're going to rely upon him. If you look at their receiver room right now of healthy wide receivers, Allen Lazard can easily be a deep ball threat. He's been banged up, though. That shoulder, you kind of saw it last week, play a factor. But Allen Lazard is, in my opinion, Rodgers' number 1 guy. Christian Watson is that downfield guy, which is huge. And with Hooker being out for Tennessee, that opens it up. Sammy Watkins, you want Sammy to succeed. He is known for his speed, but we haven't really seen it in that pass offense so far. And then Randall Cobb down there at 200, being one of Rodgers' guys. I think with him being back is going to be huge for Aaron Rodgers, especially on third downs, which we know they've had problems with. And you can see like the pricing is almost the same for the wide receivers. And then Nick Westbrook last week, we see it have a huge game. Biggest game of his career, I do believe, and against one of the better secondaries in the league. It's clear that he is being used to win games. It seems like when they don't use him, that pass offense doesn't look as good. Obviously, Treylon Burks comes back, and we could look at his numbers as well. 6 targets, 24 yards. So another piece they want to get in there. For this mid to high tier pricing, the names that stand out is Lazard and Watson. Robert Woods has a really rough matchup. I believe he's going to see the most of Alexander, so I don't love that. And then A.J. Dillon, like I said, we're looking for that news. And then we're going to see the mid-tier pricing. So on FanDuel, like I said, the pricing there is almost the same. Robert Woods obviously goes to that mid to lower tier, and same for Treylon Burks. Robert Tonyan is one of those plays to where you've seen his numbers this year, and it's not what you would hope for, especially if you had him in fantasy. He's not produced numbers at all. I mean, he's had 2 10-plus fantasy points games this year. That's not what you hope for. He has a very good opportunity to have a very good game against Tennessee. Tennessee's played fairly well against tight ends. But this is Tunyon's game to just explode. He's got one of the best matchups for tight ends this week, going against a team, a linebacker that allows a lot of receiving yards per route to tight ends. So look for Robert Tonyan, one, being a key piece to your lineups tonight. But that doesn't mean you look at the other two tight ends for Green Bay, who are value plays, 1,800 and 600 for both those guys. They're not going to out-snap Tonyan. Mercedes Lewis gets in the game quite a bit, don't get me wrong, but they use him a lot for blocking, especially in the run game. So Robert Tonyan is that mid-tier price guy that I really like tonight. And then Treylon Burks is another name. Austin Hooper, I don't like tonight at all. I would have loved to see him succeed in this offense. I thought it was a really good opportunity. They just clearly don't use him well enough. And then we get to the defenses and kickers. Like I said, they're Tennessee, Green Bay. DraftKings, it's the same thing. Tennessee, Green Bay. So it is a cold one. It is windy. We know how that is for kickers. So I look at Mason Crosby as the only kicker that I like tonight. Josh Lambo, only heard bad things about him being very, very inconsistent as a kicker, which is not what you want. And then for defenses, I'm going to like the Packers defense. The Titans defense is just too banged up for me to really play them. I'd prefer the Packers defense over Tennessee. And then we start to get to the value plays. On FanDuel, even though he's priced way higher than I think he should be, Randall Cobb is a value. Dontrell Hilliard is definitely a value. Robert Tonyan's my favorite value. Samori Toure is a guy that I really, really like. It seems like Rodgers was trying to get him involved. We heard a clip about him wanting him to get some playing time. We see last week he doesn't get used at all. But we see those 2 weeks before, 4 targets, yardage was the same, gets that touchdown against Buffalo towards the end of the game. But definitely value. There's not a lot of value tonight as far as options, but the pricing, yes. Like Randall Cobb is down here. Mercedes Lewis, Toure, Agora, Okanoa is definitely another one that I want to put in my player pool tonight, but I don't think I could do it. I mean, he's been just a one play guy. Granted, that's all you need. But there's other guys for cheaper that I put in my lineup. Dontrell Hilliard is another name here at 3,200 that I play. So those are value guys. Like I said on FanDuel, like there's a lot more options for your prices on FanDuel versus DraftKings. So that definitely allows you to pay up for those high value guys tonight. So gonna try to do both DraftKings and FanDuel line, just kind of go over what I like tonight. So I want to have Derrick Henry as my captain if I can. Doesn't mean he's a must, but I just want to see what I could do as Derrick Henry as a captain. I want to have Aaron Rodgers. To value this for paying for a lot, I'm going to put Randall Cobb in there at 200, and that's like having a value like that. So as you can see, we have 5,500 per player left. We put someone like Randall Cobb, who's the minimum, I do believe minimum is 200 on DraftKings. We put Randall Cobb in there, 7,300. That allows us to pay up for people now. So I really like Robert Tonyan. Like I mentioned, he's definitely played. That gives us even more money. We start to look at some numbers. I like Allen Lazard tonight. That leaves us 7,600 to pick another player. And let's say we pick Westbrook tonight. That's the lineup. So we get Derrick Henry and Westbrook from Tennessee. And then we get Rodgers, Cobb, Tonyan, Lazard. So obviously putting Randall Cobb in there kind of does hurt the potential of what you could do just because he's supposed to be eased in, but he allows pricing. So that's just an example. That's not saying that this is a line that I 100% love, but just some players that I do like tonight and having Derrick Henry as captain. FanDuel, we don't have to do the price adjustment, so we'll put Derrick Henry again. We'll put Aaron Rodgers. We'll go find Robert Tonyan. Like, his price is just ridiculous on FanDuel. Allows us to kind of get that pricing there. And let's put Allen Lazard again. That leaves us 10-5. We can't get Watson, but we can get Westbrook again. So that's where I'm at. That's almost exactly similar, except Randall Cobb being on DraftKings for the pricing. So hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you guys want to join us, the link for that will be in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next one.